And what's up? We are live on Twitch. This is the preseason race for the Trackalicious GT Porsche Cup series. We're doing four races over two different tracks. The first two races will be held at Snetterton 300, and the last two races will be held at Silverstone. We come into the first race, or qualifying for the first race at Snetterton, and we are following Crow Heavenborn on his outlap. Let's get a different camera up here. Get a nice trackside cam. Is he? Hey, thank you, Haas, for following. As we see Crow Heavenborn come across the start-finish line now, coming down on the fast run down to turn 1. Turn 1's particularly tricky in this car. I found it just doesn't want to turn in. And then down into the hairpin here of turn 2. As you can see, I'm getting slightly squirrely here. That'll be a theme of this, seeing these cars race tonight, as there is no traction control, and most drivers are used to running traction control in this game. So that will definitely be an interesting thing to show. And we'll see how different drivers adapt to that change of having no traction control. So far, Crow putting on a nice lap down in the midsection as we see him go slightly wide, which gives him some loss of control, and then outbrakes himself into the final corner as he resets back to the pit lane. As we'll follow Jason Provolone here. Let's actually hop on board with him so we can see a nice camera view of how he is driving this line and how much steering input he needs to put in. Using all the inside curbing he can get and using a good amount of the runoff. Has a good exit out of that corner. Keep doing well to get the power down without having some loss of traction. Keeping it nice and clean here for this the middle part of this track. This is also a very hard corner. The rejoin back onto the 200 part of the circuit, but it is a very fun long straight now down to a chicane here. You brake, I think, right about 150 or like 1.5 on those marker boards. Ooh, as you use a little bit too much of that sausage curve, you want to stay away from that, or else you get spit out by it. And then this is also very really, really long right-hander. You want to be patient to keep the power down without putting too much power down so the rear steps out, and then the final little corner is a hard 90 left after doing like a nearly 180 right. And that's your lap of Snetterton here. Let's see. Back on trackside to see who your pole sitter currently is. Josh Willis with a 152.2. That is a good time, I believe. Josh Willis doing a good amount of practice tonight in this car, looking himself to get a good time down. You get 2 more times down on the board. Bravo and Poodle. Slightly slower times, about 7 and 10 seconds off the pace. Let's head up to Cody Wassam. And I believe Cody actually has a custom livery that I do not have right now. As we see him get a little slidey out of... that would be into the final little section of that 130. Or the 180 right-hand corner. Keeping it nice and clean through the final chicane, though. As he pulls into the pits to do some setup changes, actually to not do some setup changes, but to end his qualifying session. He will not be able to set a personal best, as qualifying is now over. Bravo! Chrono. Ooh, Provolone goes second. 1 second off of your current pole sitter, Josh Willis. Provolone goes off to aboard his lap. Now we hop on board with Norman Chan here. There are 2 Chans here tonight. Norman and Eddie, I believe, is the other one. I believe they are... I do know they're family members. I'm not sure the relationship between them, but also great to see some kind of family here joining us in Tracklicious Sim Racing. This is a public lobby, so we might have people who are not in our league tonight, so that will definitely keep things interesting to see how these races go. But so far, I do not believe there is any non-league racers here tonight. Any public lobbies. Crow Heavenborn's here. I believe Poodle is one of ours, but I could be wrong. Let me see if I recognize that name. Josh Poodle. Yeah, he might be. But currently your pole sitter is Josh Willis, as we follow him around the final corner. Coram, I believe. Yes, Coram out of Murray's and pulls in the pits to end his qualifying session. He will not be able to improve. And that is your order. It is Josh Willis in pole position with Justin Provolone in second place, Jeremy Engelman in third place, Pickerel in fourth place, N. Chan in fifth place, Warden sixth place, Bravo in seventh, Poodle in eighth, Chronatus in ninth, Heavenborn in 10th, Blossom in 11th, Morrison in 12th, Orozco in 13th, the other Chan in 14th, Eric Miller in 15th, and Fassel in 16th. As we get set up on the grid now, drivers finalizing their setups, getting enough fuel in their car, getting final pressure set up. It looks like this track might be a little hotter than what it was for qualifying, so we'll see how those drivers affect or change their setups to do that. I assume you'd want lower tire pressures, as the air inside the tires would want to naturally expand more, but we'll see how drivers adapt to these conditions. Tonight will be all 15-minute races. Again, this is one of 2 tonight. One of 2 tracks tonight, and each track there's 2 different races. All races will be 15 minutes long. The first track is Snetterton, as we're on right now. The second track will be Silverstone. Snetterton should be a good track for this car, and Silverstone could throw a challenge because it has a lot of corners in it. And without these things having traction control, could be really, really hard to master. But looking forward to see how these drivers deal with this, not being able to have traction control. I think it'll be a good race. And we're now away for I believe, just the final 2 corners of a warm-up lap here. This will be a short amount of time to get the tires and brakes up to temperature, but as cars are inside each other as ghosting for the start of the race is happening. Both drivers now starting to line up in a 2x2 formation for the start of the race. We're on board with the helicam right now following Josh Willis and Justin Provolone at the start of the race. Drivers in the back being really, really close. I believe that is actually Crow Heavenborn being close to a WPI team driver. And now we are green in Snetterton. Josh Willis having a better start off of Provolone. Got some mixing up behind. Looks like that's 747 of Jeremy Engelman being in 4th place. Pickerel having a better start. All drivers keeping it clean through turn 1 so far, and turn 2. Josh Willis having a better exit out of the hairpin. And we'll head back down the field to watch Pickerel here. This looks like there's going to be a good battle coming up here. Oh, as we see, actually, Josh Willis losing first place out to Justin Provolone. As we see a driver off in the background spinning. It looks like that may be Norman Chan as he rejoins the track. Oh. Everyone somehow gets around him cleanly. Norman taking the inside line, trying to recover as many positions ahead, as I believe that is the... I'm not sure who it is, but they both do a synchronized spin out of... Don't collect anyone! That was a nice driving from both drivers there to avoid Norman Chan spinning back on the track. We'll head up to watch a battle for... Actually, I think the battle for first place is still quite close right now. Let's actually hop on board with the driver behind Josh Willis, which is Jeremy Engelman. Let's hop on board with that. This is the final corner of Murray's that they're going through now onto the start-finish straight. Justin Provolone using a little bit more of the ideal line here. Josh Willis taking a look, but not being close enough to make a move on that look. Both drivers kind of go a little wide, which gets Engelman a chance to pass Justin Provolone as Josh Willis gets past Provolone here. And it looks like that made the move. Provolone from dropping down from 1st to 3rd place. That's unfortunate to see. Let's head back trackside to watch these drivers tackle this tricky track. It's a very hard one to get right. It seems easy to learn, but man, it is hard to master. A lot of hard, fast corners in there that are just really tricky in these cars. It looks like there's actually a good battle back down the field. Ooh. As that is Josh Poodle having his own moment off in the grass. Ooh, Santiago Orozco has another moment off in the grass. That's unfortunate to see. Ooh, Jason Provolone actually dropped all the way down to 9th place after that hairpin incident. Was there more contact than what I saw as Provolone kicks a tire barrier out of the way using it as football. Or soccer ball for an American. Looks like we're starting to get spaced out a good bit here, but it looks like Cody Wasson might be looking to attack Eric Miller here within the next lap. Cody Wasson driving in the Rising Sun. No. Yes. Yes, Cody Wasson was driving in the Rising Sun's Nissan last season in the GT3, and then for GT4 was in the I believe it was the Sunoco Chevrolet. I'm not 100% sure what team that was, but it was a blue and yellow oil-sponsored Chevrolet. Both drivers go off through turn 1. Cody Watson gets a bad exit and collects the Armco. That's going to be some heavy damage on the front of him. Let's head back up the field. We have a 3-way battle for 4th place here with Eric Miller and Crow Heavenborn no, not Crow Heavenborn. Jason Provolone heading out for it. Let's do an internal camera of Eric Miller. Looks like Justin Provolone has nudged his way through, entering this little hairpin here. But both drivers being side by side here through this corner. You can see Jason being right there, getting a better exit out of that corner. Braking earlier for that, for Augie's. Now having a bad exit. Eric had a bad exit out of Augie's, which gave Provolone the position for 7th place as Eric mows the grass out of Williams. Eric may be looking to capitalize off of a mistake from Provolone out of this, out of Nelson here. As whoa, I say that as Provolone does have an off, and so does the car behind. That would be Cody Wassam still mowing the grass out in between Nelson and Bombhole now, which lets Jose Bravo through. And now we head back on board with Provolone. Let's hop on a helmet cam. Is this helmet cam? Yep. Hop on a helmet cam of Provolone to see what he's seeing here as he's trying to overtake Morrison for 7th place. Ooh, as Provolone outbrakes himself. Morrison having to drive out of the way to avoid contact there. Provolone taking his time to come back on track. Provolone looking starting to struggle with these Porsche Cups here so far. We have also 3 other races to have a good result. Provolone, a good driver, also driving for the old, I don't know what the team name is now, but it was the old Team Supreme of Lindauer and Cass-Lassie. I think they might be called South Star Motorsports now. Also, they switched cars for the next GT3 season. They're now in the Lexus, so he'll be a good fit there. And then Provolone also being in my team for the GT4 series of TWP Alpha. So looking forward to having Provolone on my team and seeing Provolone race in the GT3 series. As the gap's starting to space quite out, let's head back. Ooh, Eddie Shane having a poor rejoin and collecting. That would be Matt Morrison. Matt rejoining on the apex of Bombhole. Thankfully, everyone gets around him cleanly. That would be Jose Bravo that had to avoid Matt. As we head back up the field now to Jeremy Engelman, as Jeremy Engelman makes a move on Josh Willis. Josh Willis taking the inside line. Slightly understeering, having a sideways moment, which nudges Jeremy Engelman off track, but both drivers still side by side out of Palmer and down on the run into Agnosti. Agnosti is a tight little hairpin here in the middle section of Snetterton, but Jeremy Engelman being in 2nd place. As there's a yellow flag on track, but quickly clears, and then comes back, and then clears again. Both drivers keeping it nice and tight. Actually, as we can see why there was yellow flags out on the background, that would have been on the exit of Montreal, the hairpin of turn 2. Jeremy Engelman looking to attack Josh Willis down into Brundle, but not close enough. Looking to do it on the outside of Nelson, but again, not close enough. Both drivers keeping it nice and tight. Let's head back on board with Jeremy Engelman to see how these lines are different to each other. Engelman looking to maybe use some different lines than Josh, or capitalizing off of some mistakes. But it doesn't look like Jet's in the, or Jeremy Engelman is in the slipstream of Josh Willis, or not close enough to make a move down into turn 1 at least. Josh is definitely using a little bit more track than Jeremy Engelman. I'm not sure if that is a good thing in his case. Both drivers keeping it nice and tight to this apex here to get the power down. Not early, but smoothly in this case, as there's no traction in these things. So far, for being a open lobby or open to the public, it's been a very, very good race. I believe everyone here is at least part of Trackalicious Sim Racing in some sort, but I believe they're all racing here. Oh, as Josh Willis goes wide in through Augie's, which gives Jeremy Engelman the lead of the race back. And then Josh Willis using traction, or the lack thereof, to slide out of Williams on the run down to the mains, on the way down to Brundle and Nelson. I think I got it the wrong way around. Nope, Brundle then Nelson. Ooh, there's another car off in the background. That looks like that might be the number 2 driver of... No, the number 1 of Norman Chan. That's unfortunate. We'll head back on board with Josh Willis here. Josh Willis making a move down into the final chicane, but not close enough. Josh close enough to draft off of Jeremy Engelman. Coming across the line is only 3/10 off. Both drivers keeping it nice and clean. Both drivers actually kind of understeering off track, with the Jet being, or Jeremy Engelman doing it, being a harder offense of going off. Oh, as Jeremy Engelman slides off into the fences. That's unfortunate to see. Jeremy Engelman and Josh Willis having a good battle together. That puts Jeremy Engelman down into, what would that be, 5th place? Timing board says 5th. Oh, as there's... Yep, Norman Chan there again, unfortunately. And it looks like actually that would be 4th place, as Norman Chan is a back marker. Timing boards are starting now to update again, so we'll see where some close battles are, as Norman Chan is doing the work, or the lawn mowing work of Stennerton. Guess he saw a piece of turf that needed to be mowed. I know that feeling. I've done that many, many times before. Let's head back up the field to see Josh Willis having a 10-second gap over Crow Heavenborn, who just now comes out of the Williams corner. Josh Willis having a nice lead over this race here so far. Currently holding a comfortable lead with 2 minutes left of the race. I mean, everything's still up for grabs in these cars, as drivers struggle to adapt to no traction control in these Porsche Cups. However, they are really fun around the corners, even without traction control. And it looks like we may have 2 more laps after this, as he is around the lap. Actually, no, this will be the final lap. It takes 1:50 to complete a lap here around Stennerton in these Porsche Cups, as Josh Willis takes a little bit too much of the inside curbing, which forces him wide on the exit of Riches, but still keeps the lead into Montreal. That helped close the gap here. Not a lot of close racing around here. We'll stay on this one, though, as there's not many close battles. Actually, it looks like Jeremy Engelman might be looking to attack down on Pickrell here, down into Agnosti. Not being close enough to make a move here, but maybe making a move down into Augie's. But first you have to navigate through Hamilton here. Both the drivers not using the exit curbing out of Hamilton. as they're side by side out of Augie's. Looking to make a move out of Williams. Jeremy Engelman may be looking to do a switchback maneuver. In the draft here of a long back Bentley straight here down on the hard run into Brundle, very fast left-hander under braking. Jeremy not being close enough to capitalize on any gap left off on the track. But I'm not sure why my spotter just told me green light. It's been green for the past 15 minutes or so. So let's just go with it, I guess. Your winner of the race is Josh Willis. Second place being Crow Heavenborn, and your battle for third place goes to Jeremy Engelman. Yeah, Pickerel just using a little bit too much of the exit curbing there, which gives Jeremy Engelman a better run out of the final corner of Murray's. And gives your position to Pickerel. As we follow on board with Cody Lawson here, doing the final corner. Eric keeping it nice and tight so far in the entrance. But both drivers having a nice exit of Murray's. Run down the final straight. Your 5th place finisher is Eric Miller, and your 6th place finisher is Cody Lawson. Dave Ward is finishing in 7th place or 8th place? I'm not sure. 7th place is Dave Ward. 8th place is Jose Bravo. Ooh, there's a big collision after the race is over with. Justin Provolone finishing. Can we please see him? No? Okay. Got it. Justin Provolone finishing 7th. No, correction. 9th. Santiago Orozco finishing maybe 10th as he has a big spin out of Murray's. Will that give Poodle the opportunity to capitalize on Orozco's mistake? Poodle having more speed down the main straight of Senna. Looks like it goes to Orozco by wow, that is a close finish by 0.009. 9. Is it 9,000? Yeah, 9,000ths of a second. That is extremely close there. With your 12th place going to Cronatus. 13th to Eddie Chan. Yes, that is there. Eddie Chan. 14th to Matt Morrison. 15th to Richie Geralman. And 16th place to Norman Chan. Looks. Oh, actually. Who's still on track? Is there a reason we have not forwarded? Everyone's complete, so I'm not sure why we haven't forwarded yet. But as we go and focus on Josh Willis, let's see if we want to pull him in for an interview. That was a great race for those guys there. Let's hop back on board. Let's actually watch the replay here, just so we have something on stream. And let's preferably not show everyone glitching around on track. As we'll follow, keyword is follow, the starting races again while we try and get Josh Willis in the interview box. Eddie Chan went from 13th to 4th at one place. I did not actually notice that. He had a hot start. Eddie Chan finished, I believe. Let me take a look in the replay. I believe Eddie Chan finished 13th. Looks like he might have finished a couple laps down. And that was a great race from everyone. Crow Heavenboard obviously happy with his second place. Let's still see if we can get Josh Willis in here. But if you like the racing here so far, down in our Twitch stream, there is a link to our Discord where you can sign up for the GT4, GT3, and the Porsche Cup series. Porsche Cup's running on Saturday nights, GT3 is running on Sunday nights, and GT4 is running on Thursday nights. We also do have 3 endurances coming up if you are interested in joining endurances. We're welcome to anyone and everyone, even if you just got your sim rig today, or if you've been racing for 13 years, we're welcoming everyone all. And hello, Josh. That was a great race from you. At one point, losing the lead to Engelman, but Engelman having a mistake, which gave you the chance to capitalize on that and take the win away.
Yeah, I was just coming up behind him, making it look like I was going to make a move, and he just outbraked himself a little bit and put himself back. And yeah, kind of had a good race, had fun, just chilled.
Yeah, it was a good race. So with that, are you looking forward to the next races tonight and the season upcoming?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the season, and I'm looking forward to this next race. Richie's here now, and Richie's some competition, so I'm always excited about a good race and some good fun.
Yes, and Heavenborn finishing second place after Jeremy Engelman having his big off, but you also did have a big off at one point, which closed about like a 12-second gap to something like a 6-second gap, but I believe you were able to pull that to 8 seconds at the end.
It got to 4 seconds at one point. I got a little worried as I was trying to keep it on track. That was some bumpy grass, but
yeah, that was
just clean and didn't push it hard after that. Just tried to make sure I brought it home, and then if at the end of the day, if Crow did catch up, I think I could have defended. So yeah.
And are you thinking a lot of drivers will be struggling with adapting to no traction control this season?
I think some will. I think I'll take a couple races. I mean, even sometimes I have a little issue. I want to just give it a little more gas than I should. But I mean, it will just come with practice, and I think it'll make everyone a better driver for it.
Yeah, and if that's nothing else, I will let you go off and finish your final practice here.
That should be good.
The second race.
Thank you.
And Crow now in the interview box. Crow with the second place after Jeremy Engelman having a big mistake, putting him down into about 7th place.
He's not right now. I think it's just the free practice.
Engelman finished 3rd. I'm not sure why he finished that. Why I thought he finished that low, but let's ignore that because it doesn't matter because you were the one who finished 2nd place.
Yeah,
that was a good race there at the start. Great race at the start, going too wide with. It wouldn't have been Jet. Yeah, it would have been Jeremy Engelman.
It could have been. It was at the start was really a game of dodging everyone because you get mixed. I didn't get to qualify at all, so I was at the back. You get mixed kind of skills at the back.
Really?
I saw people get off track, get pushed off track, and just drive off track often around me. And it was just a matter of staying alive, staying on track, and staying fast.
Yeah, that was a good race from there. No crow lines found so far.
That's why I'm Pete.
But with that, looking forward to this season's races.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. I seem to have a pretty good grip with the car.
Awesome.
It's really fun to drive.
It is a fun car to drive if you get the lack of traction control down, but I obviously haven't.
You need a good right foot.
Mine is very much leaded, which in some cases would be good. Not in this car, unfortunately. But if you have nothing else to add, you're free to go to prepare for qualifying.
I'd see you again in the next interview. I'll try and get with him again.
And now we're about to start the second qualifying session here. This would be the second qualifying session preparing for the second race here at Silverstone, at Snetterton. We have 30 seconds left of game. There we go, we'll follow Santiago Orozco. 20 seconds left of free practice 2, which is what we're currently in now. Does he sets a 2:04.7, not valid, unfortunately, but we'll follow him around for the rest of this lap. So yes, this will be the second out of fourth race here, upcoming in about 7 to 10 minutes. This will be the second and final race at Snetterton. We'll have another one coming up at Silverstone here shortly. And Silverstone will get its first appearance in about 20 minutes or so, 20 to 30 minutes. But looking forward to seeing the second race here after drivers have gotten accumulated to this racetrack. As Justin Provolone sets the fastest time in free practice 2. He sets a 1:54.3. Definitely a respectable time set down by Justin Provolone. And glad to seeing 11 viewers in this stream tonight. We will have only 2 or 3 drivers left on track. Actually, 2 drivers left on track. Santiago Orozco and okay, actually Rob is just now in. So it's Santiago Orozco is left to it. Coming out of coming out of bomb hole through the second to final corner of Coram. And then through Murray's, having a nice exit on Murray's. What time will he set? It looks like it was a fast time from Santiago Orozco. He set sometime. Unfortunately, my timing tower doesn't tell me. Let me see if I can pull that up really quickly. Santiago Orozco set a 1:55.1. And actually had the fastest first sector of that practice session. We head into qualifying as your first driver out of the pits is Josh Willis. Predictably wants to get out in the clean air to start another fast lap. Running a little wide out of Montreal, maybe just trying to get these tires up to temperature and brakes. I'm not sure how long it takes to get tires and brakes up to temperature in this car, but I would imagine it would be about 2 laps if it's anything like the GT4. Because we have a nice little train of 3 cars here of Josh Willis. Can't see who the next one is. Number 6 of Matt Morrison, and that is the white and gold of possibly Jeremy Engelman. Yes, it is Jeremy Engelman. Jeremy Engelman always creating fantastic looking liveries. This being nothing else but spectacular. Couple drivers have some really nice custom liveries, including Josh Willis, where if you get close enough, it looks like from afar, it looks like it's a galvanized steel livery. But it's actually not. It's a silver base layer with I think it's all the tracks in Assetto Corsa Competizione, or all of the tracks in WEC. I can't remember which one. But it's basically just a lot of iconic tracks layered onto this car, and with Porsche being on the bottom, with the 2 tires, I think, being an R. 2 tires acting as a letter. Will's keeping it nice and clean through turn 1. Turn 1 does kind of act as a double right-hander. Right-handed corner, you need to take the apex kind of twice to get a nice clean lap in. Josh Willis using all the curbing he can get without losing traction, using all of the red and white curbs, but none of the exit grass curbing, quote-unquote curbing. But keeping it nice and clean to set his first lap, as ahead is Enchan. Your first name is slipping me for some reason. As actually you can see Enchan going slightly off to let these group of 3 drivers through in their qualifying laps. This is so far a really, really good, nice, clean qualifying. Everyone playing out. No times have been set yet, as no one has completed a full valid lap. Your first lap out, your out lap of the pits, when you pull out, will always be invalid, as actually Josh Willis has a slight sideways moment there. But yeah, it'll always be invalid because you did not complete a full lap at the track. You just did from your pit box, so you have to complete your first out lap is always going to be invalid, and then you have your first push lap. As your first laps come across the line, with Josh Willis putting down let's see what time he puts down. The timing line's later than you think. It's a 153.1. Neither Jeremy Engelman or Matt Morrison is able to put him off of pole, but Jeremy Engelman putting Matt Morrison off of second place. That's a car. So Jeremy Engelman goes off to, not sure if to come a lawnmower or test his suspension, but whatever he wants to do, he will invalidate his lap, as Crow Heavenboard actually takes the 3rd place away from Matt Morrison. Let's head back down the field to follow Richie Geralman. Geralman now coming across the line, setting a time for 5th place. A good lap there set of what would be roughly a 155.4. It's a nice respectable time for qualifying. But first race being a very clean race, looking for a good result from Richie and Engelman. Crow obviously will be up there as long, but would like to see how Mike Burkhoff and Eric Miller do this race, both having, or actually Mike Burkhoff not joining us for the first race. Miller finishing, I believe, top 10 last race. Pick roll, I would imagine, would be natural to how the this Porsche Cup handles, as I believe he was a Porsche driver in this GT3 series last season. Richie Geralman on the Bentley straight now on the run down to Brundle. As there's yellow flags being shown forward, that would be the number 2 of Eddie Chan. Richie keeping it nice through bomb hole. And then now tight through Coram. Coram, fun corner to get right, but man, it is so hard to get right, and sometimes keeping it nice through Murray's to come across the center straight to find the timing line. Richie Geralman will set a 154.0, which puts him good enough for 3rd place. Just narrowly beating out Matt Morrison, as there's another spinner. That's number 18 of Santiago Roscoe. Roscoe getting off the track in appropriate time. Just sitting there waiting for the driver's call to pass until he can rejoin safely. Cronatus will be the first one to complete his lap. He will be in 9th place. So we make our way through the field to see Justin Provolone set a time now good enough for first place with a 151.999, which puts Josh Willis out of pole position by half a second. Norma Chan not setting a valid time in qualifying, so we have to make our way all through the field. Let's see what Jeremy Engelman will do. He wants to... I'm just going to see that car in the distance. Looks like it was maybe Eric Chan, but I could be wrong there. Jeremy Engelman has a second and a half to shave off of Provolone to take the pole position away. What will his time be? As Pickerel takes third place with a 53 flat almost. Engelman coming across the line, actually invalidating his lap over the start-finish line by using that grass there. And Josh Willis does not improve his lap as he's entering the pit. Unfortunate to see is Richie Geralman's coming around the final corner now as there's a shell car off in the background doing some donuts. Richie Geralman coming across the line to set a time better than Jeremy Engelman for fourth. That's a nice showing from Richie Geralman. As Richie does a celebratory donut out of Rich's. Nice qualifying from those guys. So your order for that the qualifying session would be Justin Provolone in pole position, with Josh Willis in second place, Pickerel in third place, Richie Geralman in fourth place, Jeremy Engelman in fifth place, Matt Morrison in sixth place, Jose Bravo in seventh, Crow Heavenborn in 8th, Santiago Orozco in 9th, Eric Miller in 10th, Cornatus in 11th, Cody Wassam in 12th, N. Chan in 13th, Eddie Chan in 14th, Ward in 15th, Vassal in 16th, and Burkhoff in 17th. I don't believe actually Burkhoff set a lap that time. Not sure if he went out and I just happened to miss him, or he just wasn't there. I'm not sure. But as drivers start getting their final setups in, so we wait to go. So, as we hear the 30 seconds until green. As we're starting to get to the tires and brakes all warmed up here for the final race here at Snyderton until we go off until Silverstone. As let's head up the field to watch the top four start off as they enter through Nilsson here now. Drivers ghosting through each other. That would be, I believe, Crow. No, that would be not Crow. That would be... Actually, that would be Crow. Go through Matt Morrison there. Justin Provolone having the inside line over Josh Willis. Looks like Willis got poor start, which gives Pickerel the inside line down into turn one. Some big moves happening in the background. One car maybe in the barrier. But it looks like Andrew Provolone. Andrew Pickerel's in second place. No, Andrew Pickerel's not in second place. That is still Josh Willis. Ooh, as Pickerel actually has a slight sideways moment and puts himself down the field, down to sixth place. As we head back up the field to watch the battle for first place between Josh Willis and Justin Provolone. These guys going back at it again for the second time at the start in two races. Josh Willis putting it down the inside line. Both drivers, I believe, still going side by side here. As no, Josh Willis actually takes the lead over. Oh, it was Eddie Chan's off in the background. Jason Provolone. Jason Provolone looking to maybe attack out, get a better exit out of. That would be Williams here. And so I believe this will be your first time seeing how hard the corner of Brundle in Nelson is. It's a very fast, hard sequence to get right. Both drivers keeping it nice and clean. Provolone using a little bit more of the curbing, of the inside sausage curbing than Willis. Willis having a better exit of bomb hole. Looks like Provolone is starting to fall off the back of Josh a little bit, and so is Richie, actually. But the battle for 4th place is starting to heat up between Andrew Pickrell and Jeremy Engelman. Engelman looking to attack Pickrell down, possibly into Montreal. Be a hard move to make, but he could possibly do if he's later on the brakes. Engelman trying to take the better exit out of the hairpin of Montreal. Run down into Palmer. All drivers keeping it nice and clean in the top 5 here. As you can see, Crow Heavenborn in 6th place back there, and more drivers coming out of Palmer now. All drivers actually starting to back up, as actually, somehow, Justin Provolone is back in the lead over Josh Willis. That must be a great overtaking opportunity, as we see Jeremy Engelman try to go around the outside there. The battle for the lead still kicking off, even 2 laps in. Still only about 0.6 separating Willis and Provolone. Excuse me. It's actually 0.5 now entering the Brundle corner set. And I swore the screen just all of a sudden got, like, really light. With this being the 2nd completed lap here, Provolone's set car is looking to be a little bit more squirrely as we see Provolone go off out of the final corner as it becomes a drag race down to the final, down to the front stretch, down to the timing line, that's what I'm trying to say. And it looks like Josh Willis is in the lead, entering and exiting Riches. Josh Willis keeping the lead as Provolone goes wide, and so does Richie Girolamo, which will give Pickrell the chance to attack down into Montreal, and does so successfully, but having a poor exit out of Montreal using all the curbing, which gives Richie Girolamo a chance to make a move down on the outside around Palmer. Pickrell defending nice and cleanly there, but looking to attack, maybe defending the inside line from Richie there, which might give Jeremy Engelman the chance to make a move on Richie Girolamo. We'll head on board with Jeremy Engelman here now to see this 3-way battle for 3rd place. This is the final podium position here. Up for battle, even 5 minutes through the race. Third of the way through the 15-minute race, as we're now 10 minutes left of the race. Looks like Josh Willis is still in the lead over Justin Provolone, with Pickrell, Girolamo, and Engelman being closing off your top 5. And Pickrell goes wide out of Nelson, which gives Richie Girolamo the overtake, and now Richie Girolamo is holding the final podium position. Jeremy Engelman looking to make a move down into the final chicane, not close enough to do anything about it. but close enough still to remind Pickerel that he is still there and looking for that overtaking opportunity. Track is starting to cool off, especially compared to races 1's temperatures, only 20 Celsius. It's definitely a very cold tire, or cold track, as Jeremy Engelman outbrakes himself slightly. Let's maybe get a hood cam of from Jeremy Engelman. Both drivers keeping it nice on the brake. Jeremy Engelman taking a later apex than Pickerel, but that might give him a better exit. Marginally on the run on this little short back straight here, or one of many short back straights here. Pickerel using a little bit more curbing out of Agnosti, which kind of upsets the car a little bit in this Porsche Cup with no traction control. You kind of want to stay off the curbs as much as possible. Looks like Richie Giralman's starting to pull away, but I believe up ahead, a battle is starting to overtake between Josh Willis and Provolone. Josh Willis is down the inside, entering Brundle, and takes the position from Justin Provolone. Justin Provolone using getting the traction loose out there, which might put him into the reign of a Richie Giralman. But not close enough to do it out through bomb hole and into Coram. One thing I have noticed, as we hear halfway mark through our spotter, looks like Jason Provolone's setup might be a little bit more squirrely and using less aero than Josh Willis. I've noticed Provolone's car leans a little bit more out through the fast corners than the other competitors, as there's a move being made for third place in the background. That's Andrew Pickerel making this dive down through Montreal and pulling it off successfully, taking third place back into his capture. It looks like and as we see Richie Giralman go off using the curbs, defending now from Jeremy Engelman's lovely livery back there. Jeremy Engelman putting his nose down into Agnosti, but not close enough to make a move out of it. Maybe having a better exit, or worse exit out of the corner than Richie. Both drivers using the racing line here, not trying to find any time on a non-optimal line. It is possible, just kind of hard. Both drivers looking to keep it nice and consistent down to this corner. Let's hop on board with Jeremy Engelman, not Richie Giralman. We'll hop on board with Jeremy Engelman to see how both drivers take this lap here. Richie Giralman going a little wider into bomb hole, but keeps it nice and clean. As you can see, Richie Giralman's car struggling to get grip on the front end. Jeremy Engelman closing heavily, entering Murray's, but not close enough to make an overtake. Ooh, I hop on board Mike Burkhoff. That was the wrong direction with the camera, but Mike Burkhoff goes off. Not what I was trying to do. We are trying to watch the battle for third place here. It looks like Richie Giralman might be closing down into Montreal. Richie Giralman obviously looking to get third place back from Pickerel, but this has been a good battle for fifth, or a good three-way battle for third place here. Every driver here in this battle has had a chance to defend the third place and chance to attack third place. So it's an amazing battle to watch here, as both drivers are all within a second and a half or so. Actually, it is within a second. Jeremy Engelman using having a bad exit out of, I believe that was Hamilton. Actually, that was Augie's. Richie Giralman in the draft of Andrew to get make a move down into Grundle, but not really close enough, as there's actually, as we can see, the battle for first place here resuming, as Josh Willis is off track and collects Justin Provolone, which puts Andrew Pickerel into the lead after about 5 laps of racing. It's unfortunate to see. But now, with these guys' patience, are now in the lead. Let's see where Josh Willis is. Josh Willis is down in 4th place and still struggling with some damage, it looks like. And Justin Provolone coming in the background there. So Josh assumes 4th place with Justin Provolone assuming 5th. Both drivers all drivers here keeping it nice and neat into, as I say that, as Richie Drallman's around in Montreal, which gives Jeremy Engelman the position, and now may put Richie on his back foot and possibly might become in the range of Josh Willis's attack, but not close enough to do anything here so far about it. However, we'll hop on board with Jason Provolone. Please don't say I was calling him Justin all day. I'll have to look back. Jason Provolone here, keeping it nice and tight through the Snetterton 100 section. Snetterton 300 is a combination of the Snetterton 100, of the infield, of the first set of corners, and the 200 tracks. There's a car off in the distance. Jason Provolone looking to attack around the outside, now taking the outside line of Bentley straight, and actually gets the maneuver solidified over Josh Willis, except Jason Provolone now having a sideways moment out of Nelson, which gives... Ooh, is Jason still sitting sideways, struggling to refire his car after that mistake. Thankfully, not too much damage, but letting these drivers through here, that's unfortunate to see. So we try and make our way back up through the field to maybe find some more battles. Oh, is Andrew Pickerel's off? The leader's off. Oh no, what happened there? And Andrew Pickerel rejoins 3rd place to give Jeremy Engelman the lead. Wow, what an interesting change of events here. Next in the second race, you've had, what, 4 different leaders of this race here in 15 minutes? As you can see, that car is still off in the distance out of Williams. This car must have broken down or for some reason. Oh, with Matt Morrison entering the pits. That's interesting. Cronatus, Norman Chan, and Matt Morrison all in the pits. Fortunate to see. Jeremy Engelman, so far holding a nice lead over Richie Drallman of 4 seconds. It's a nice little gap there. Nice little comfortable gap, allows for some sideways mistakes, but still also allows him to keep the lead of the race here. As we come through the second final corner of Coram, your race winner of race 2 will be Jeremy Engelman. Comes across the line to take his position. Richie Drallman coming across the line for 2nd place. And then Andrew Pickerel in 3rd place. With Josh Willis, unfortunately, taking 4th place, was leading the race for a good majority out of the time. Ooh, actually, Jason Provolone not rejoining for 5th place, but getting Mike Burkhoff in 5th place. And Cody Wassam in 6th place, a drag race down to the finish line, but it looks like Mike Burkhoff will have the position. Yes, Mike Burkhoff will get 5th place, while Cody Wasson will get 6th place. Jason Provlone finishing 7th. Jose Bravo finishing 8th place. This is really annoying. The Eric Miller defending from Mike Vassell. I believe that's Mike Vassell. Mo Vassell, apologies. Ooh, as Mo Vassell tries to look around the outside of Murray's, trying to get a better exit. It's a true drag race down to the finish line, drafting as Mo tries to put a tire down into the grass to get ahead, but not close enough to do a 10th off of each other. Eric Miller having a big off at the exit, but Mo Vassell finishing 9th. Mo Vassell finishing 10th. Eric Miller finishing 9th. As we filter back through the pits to not see Ward finishing across the line for 11th, but we will see Santiago Orozco coming across the line in 12th. Nice finishing for those guys. And let's pull up a highlight of this race here. Now again, while we're taking a break to switch the server to Silverstone, if you want to join in our Twitch channel, there is a link to the Discord where you can join us for all of our fun races here as we watch race highlights of Silverstone. Not Silverstone, Snetterton. And with that being said, let's try and get your top 2 finishers in the interview box, which would be Jeremy Engelman and Richie Geralman. Not sure why the camera's trying to focus us on a mid-pack battle, but it is. It is a nice little battle here. As all drivers are struggling to get some traction out of there, as you guys can see. But yeah, if you're interested in joining us, we have 3 different series starting up here. Your GT4 is the first to start, which will be on Thursday nights. And then the Porsche Cup on Saturday nights, and on Sunday nights are your GT3s. If you're interested in joining, find us on our Discord, which is linked below in our Twitch. You're welcome. Anyone of anyone's skill level is welcome to join, as we have Jeremy Engelman join us in the commentary box.
Howdy do.
Wow, that was an interesting race to say the least.
Yeah. No, you kind of hate to win it that way. You kind of like to battle it out a little bit more. But I did get a nice battle with Pickerel in there in the first race. So
yeah, you had a great battle with Pickerel and Richie Geralman for the final, a 3-way battle for 3rd place. And unfortunately, Josh Willis and Justin Provolone colliding to give you guys the top 3.
Yeah, no, it worked out in our favor in that sense. I kind of wish it was stayed a little tighter between me and Richie and Pickerel there at the end, but it was good race.
It was an excellent race to watch, with your 2nd place going to Richie Geralman. Richie having a good race there also.
Thank you.
And then obviously your 3rd place goes to Pickerel. Both of you guys at one point all had 3rd place when you're battling for that final podium position.
Yeah, Pickerel there, he was giving me a run for my money. He dived up the inside a couple times, and ended up working out in my favor. But yeah, he was definitely putting the pressure on in the first half of that race.
Yeah, it was a great battle to watch. And Pickerel, any comments?
Yeah, I was doing pretty good till the last lap where I just screwed myself and went off track. And then Richie got past me, went from first to third.
That's unfortunate to see. But yeah, that was all a great race from you guys. Again, if you guys got nothing to say, feel free to go back down into your guys' driver's room.
I want to say thank you for the great commentary and the great interviews.
Thank you. Hope to see you guys at the next 2 races in
Oh, yes.
Silverstone. See you in the
Let's get
commentary
some
box,
Ws.
hopefully.
Thank you, buddy.
And while we wait for the server to be rebooted here. I'm not sure if the server has been rebooted. I kind of want to cover it, but I also do want to show you guys some races here. Everyone here having a good day or night wherever you guys are in whatever section of the world. Love to see the chat. You guys is in the chat, and 8 people watching the stream right now. Amazing to see. Thank you guys so much for supporting us here at Trackalicious Sim Racing. And even if you're don't have any sim racing, we do have some real life track days. We'll try and get Eric in there to talk about those because he's the one who does that. Looks like the server's still down, fortunately. But yeah, if you're wanting to join us, you can find us on Twitch. Obviously you have if you're watching this, unless if you're watching the replay on our YouTube channel. If you're seeing this on our YouTube channel, go and find the link in the description for our Discord or our Twitch account. And then on our Twitch account, you can see our Discord links or our calendar links in there. And welcome to join us there on Assetto Corsa Competizione and some AMS2 fun nights. We're pretty active even if we are not doing any kind of organized league racing. There's usually a couple guys in our Discord playing various types of games, so you're obviously welcome to join anytime you are interested. And we also, if you want to join our leagues, again, like I said, they're in the Twitch account. Welcome to any skill level. No really requirements to join us over Trackalicious. Great little American time zone community. Or time zone for the Americas. Love racing here. Have had so many good races here. As we're following Josh Willis coming around Silverstone. This will be the first of 2 races here at Silverstone. While we have some downtime, I might try and pull Eric in here to see if he wants to talk about the track days. So far, I forget how to use this Assetto Corsa. Here we go. As we see Josh Willis entering Maggots and Beckett's, I would imagine that would be a very hard section of the track, as we can see Josh Willis having to use the escape road through Maggots and Beckett's. Like I was about to say. I would imagine this track would be quite hard in the Porsche Cup, as it uses, as when I drive, I rely on those sections of traction control, as our Cameron decides to find the Josh Willis there. Josh Willis having a very, very nice livery here for our viewing enjoyment here. As we can see that wing angle on Josh Willis's car looking quite extreme. I'm not sure if it was that extreme at Snetterton, but it looks quite angled here. Let's see if Jeremy Engelman's quite angled. Less so than Josh's, I believe. This is kind of just me eyeballing it, but I believe Josh has a quite high downforce setup here. I can see how you'd want that here at Silverstone. It's the middle, or the first and third sectors are really tight and twisty, but also there's a long enough straight here. You want some kind of straight line speed, so I'm not sure how that wing angle affects your straight line speed much. With your first valid time of your free practice 1 being set to Jose Bravo at a 2:08.0, I believe that's actually quite good time, being only about 8 seconds off of a mid-pack GT3 pace. Jeremy Engelman letting... It's going to be a black car. That's not really going to help me here much. It's really not going to help me. Well, there's Josh Willis that he went through. Or maybe that was Cody Watson. One of those guys he let through. So let's actually hop on board with Jeremy Engelman to see how all these 3 drivers take slightly different lines through Maggots and Beckett's, and I believe that there's another corner name here. But now onto the long back straight here. All drivers keeping it nice, using all the straight line speed they can. Jeremy using some interesting tactics around there to possibly get some kind of straight line advantage out of that corner. I'm not fully sure. Silverstone's a very fun track to race on. I actually prefer the national layout, which is the GT start finish line, Maggots, and then you go cut back onto the Wellington straight, and then using Brooklands and Luffield. It's a really fun section of the track I like. But I also really like the Stowe circuit, which is just an internal little I think it's a karting layout, but it also could be used for other things. Unfortunately, I've never been able to find a race that uses Stowe, but it's a really fun track layout. Challenges you more than you think a little 1 mile track would. Ooh, as we see some cars off here, that would be... I think he's already reset back to pits. I cannot tell you who that was, unfortunately. As we see Richie Geralman come across the line to set fastest lap of free practice here so far of a 2:05.8. Santiago Orozco is trying to be found by our camera crew, but now it gets found coming through Village. Actually, no, that would be... Yeah, that would be Village, because that's the loop, and then here is Aintree. Aintree? Aintree, got it. Down onto the Wellington Straight. It looks like Eric may not be available to join us to talk to us about our track days, I imagine they'd be quite good fun. I've been trying to looking into them, but unfortunately, because I don't believe I'm old enough to do it. As qualifying has now officially started. Your first out of the pits is Josh Willis again. Josh Willis slightly slidey through Maggots and Beckett's. Now exits Chapel Curve onto the Hangar Straight. The cool thing about most of these British tracks is they're located near, on, or around a Royal Air Force Base that was created during the World Wars. So Silverstone is created on, I don't know which Royal RAF base, but it's, the Wellington Strait, Hamilton Strait, and Hangar Strait, I believe, are the three straits it goes along that used to be old airplane runways. And it's really, really cool to see a track that runs around an old Air Force base. Ironically, Snetterton was also one of them. The front stretch and the run between Bombhole and Cora. It was an old Air Force runway base, or an Air Force runway. So really cool, fun little fact about these British tracks. I don't believe Oulton Park is around 1, and I don't believe Donington is around 1. But I could be wrong on those two tracks. We saw Josh Willis go slightly wide out of that corner. So let's head through the field to find someone we haven't talked too much about. Let's try and see maybe like D. Ward as we hop on board Dave Ward in the number 20. Coming across the F1 start-finish straight, which does not signify a new lap, as we use the GT start-finish straight, which is about halfway through the track compared to the between the Hamilton F1 start-finish straight. And thank you, Don ZW, for following us here at Tracklicious. With 6 minutes left of qualifying, no one has set a time yet. I'm not sure if that's because this is their first valid lap, or this is still their out lap. But here we're following Dave Ward, you see what time he sets here. That must be his outlap if he was doing a 6-minute 46. But keeping it nice and tight, let's hop on board Dave Ward to see how he takes Maggots, Beckett, and the Chapel Curve. Runs a little wide through Maggots as there's a car off the distance, but gives him plenty of racing room. But it looks like it's a nice clean sector through there. And again, if you want to join us here tonight, this is a public lobby. Just look up Trackalicious in Assetto Corsa on your computer on Assetto Corsa Competizione. You're welcome to join us here. It looks like there might be one public lobby person here of Otto, unless if he is a driver you do not recognize. But yeah, you're free to join us here. Also join us using the links in Twitch bio. As your first times are now starting to be set with Richie Geralman with a 206.066 of your provisional pole time, with Josh Willis being 4/10 off of that, and Jeremy Engelman being 5/10 off of Richie Geralman. Dave Ward coming down into Luffield now. Or actually, Brooklands, excuse me. Going off in Brooklands. And cutting Luffield to get a better exit out of... Yeah, I'm not really sure what's happening there. But safely rejoining the track. Unfortunately, that will invalidate his time. Let's hop to someone who I haven't given much time to. Mo Vassal. Mo Vassal is in your prime time Amazon themed delivery. I believe Josh Willis was the one who created this design. I do know it was one of your large livery creators here at Trackalicious. You have a couple, Jeremy Engelman being the primary one. But Josh Willis, Rudy Manier, there's a couple other I can't think of off the top of my head that make really, really good liveries. But here's one of them, created by, again, like I believe it was Josh Willis. And this car's using a Amazon box base layer, and then some Amazon sticker tape closing the box up down the race center as a racing stripe, as that is Jeremy Engelman off on the main straight. And with some Twitch Prime and Amazon sponsors. Really cool livery. Now, we have set a couple faster times down. Richie Geralman is your provisional pole sitter with a 205.058. With him being in the pits, I'm not sure if he's going to improve. There's Jeremy Engelman. Why am I struggling? Jeremy Engelman, only a 5/100th of a second, with Josh Willis being 6/100ths of a second off of the race lead. We'll follow Josh Willis here to see if he is going to improve on his time. It looks like Jeremy Engelman and Richie Geralman will not be improving their times. Josh Willis, as I say that, Matt Morrison has taken provisional pole away from Richie Geralman by 6/100ths of a second. Your top four are now separated by 1.5 tenths. That is absolutely amazing that four guys over a nearly 2-minute 5 time span can be 1.5 tenths off. That's just absolutely amazing. Josh Willis comes around the final corner, which is Luffield. Will he be able to set and improve his time? He cuts that corner there a lot, and does go pole by 0.3 of a second. Sets the fastest time of the night here so far at 2:04.656. As we see Josh Willis, not sure if he's losing control or doing that celebratory. It doesn't matter. He is your provisional pole sitter. He is who's everyone target now. Will Jose Bravo be able to improve? Actually, Matt Morrison, Josh Willis are actually still going to improve, possibly, because they had another lap out there. But unfortunately, the 4 drivers who will not be able to improve will be Matt Morrison, Richie Geralman, Andrew Pickerel, Justin Provolone. Eddie Chan, Dave Ward, and Jay Otto as Jose Bravo sends it deep into club, pulling off and resetting back to pit as he will not be able to get a new time down. As we'll follow Eric Miller, only with the 208.1 here on the board, looking to possibly improve this, getting up into the top 5 hopefully. He also does take a lot out of that corner, so obviously it must be legal. Only putting it 8th, but with 206.6, that should be a good lap and not get him knocked down the field. Not many drivers left on track. Jeremy Engelman still pulled off there. We see Cody Wassam coming across. We haven't shown him much here today. He's now going through Woodcott, which is that little kink between Luffield and Cops. Yeah, a little kink between Luffield and Cops. Putting it 6th. I'm not sure that was an improved time, but still a good qualifying performance from him. Still see. We'll actually follow Mo Vassal again to see here if he can improve his time from a 2:07.7. I would. He's probably looking to improve up into 9th place, is my guess, as he goes 7th with a 106. 106. If he's going 106, that would be pole and a half. That was 206.2, I believe that said before it disappeared. Is there anyone else still on track? Yes, there's 2 drivers. Professor Chronotis. Yeah, Professor Chronotis. Not improving his time. Mike Burkhoff, I'm trying to get to. There we go. Mike Burkhoff, with his personal best being a 2:05.2, which is not invalid, which was invalid, excuse me. Let's see if he will be able to improve out of 5th place, and it's not, unfortunately. Your order for this race, your first of 2 Silverstone races will be Josh Willis, Matt Moore. Josh Willis being your pole sitter, with Matt Morrison closing off the front row. The 2nd row would be Richie Drallman and Jeremy Engelman. 3rd row would be Mike Burkhoff and Cody Wassam. 4th row would be Mo Vassal and N. Chan. Your 5th row would be Eric Miller and Jose Bravo. Your 6th row would be Andrew Pickerel and Santiago Orozco. Your 7th row would be Jason Provolone and Professor Chronotis. Your 8th row would be Eddie Chan and Dave Ward. And the final row is Jay Otto. Jay Otto being the final driver there. I don't know, with an odd number of drivers, no one is aside him, but that gives him some liberties to use whatever lines he wants. Sometimes it is actually nice to start from the back. As the last 20 seconds of pre-race routine is coming to a close, drivers finalizing their setups, fuel loads, tire pressures, all that good stuff for 33-degree track temperature. Track is as fast as it'll get here, as it's peak racing time, peak heat. As we come around Woodcott now, let's have on the aerial cam see these drivers start warming up their tires and brakes as they're in a 2x2 grid formation. That's not the line, but the line's up here. Andrew Green and Silverstone. Up the front row having both equally good starts. Richie Geralman having a better start than Jeremy Engelman. as we look at Matt Morrison looking to attack Josh Willis up ahead, but not close enough to be doing anything about it. Matt Morrison taking more of the ideal line through Maggots and Beckett's, looking to get a better run out of there as we've all kept it clean. There's one driver off in the distance. Not sure what happened there. As there's a move being made for 5th place here between Jeremy Engelman and Mike Burkhoff. Mike taking the outside line there, but not able to do anything. But now we're making a move too wide between Jeremy Engelman and Richie Geralaman. Both drivers keeping it nice and clean, but battle for the lead still happening here. Jeremy Engelman taking the inside line as we go 3 wide down into Abbey, who will back out. It looks like it's Jeremy Engelman, but Jeremy Engelman collides with Mike Burkhoff, I believe, and that creates some chaos behind, unfortunately. Yeah, so your top 3 now are Josh Willis, Matt Morrison, and Richie Geralaman. Josh Willis having a bad exit out of that corner, which gives Matt Morrison the outside line through. That would be a Nate tree. Matt Morrison looking down through Brooklands, not close enough to do anything, but has a slide and has a spun out of 2nd place down the position, orders up into down to 5th place. That gives your lead over. That keeps your lead to Josh Willis and gives Mike Burkhoff second position. As timing sheets now start to update, look for some good battles here. Mike Burkhoff being 0.6 off of Josh Willis and closing. Let's hop on board Mike Burkhoff to see how he takes Magus Beckett's. It's a very tricky set of tracks here. Set of corners here at Silverstone. Both Mike Burkhoff taking a little wider entrance, which might get him the power down earlier and better than Josh. Both drivers keeping it nice and tight. Mike Burkhoff taking it tighter through that would be Club, actually. Vale? Club. One of those two. Where's Farm? Oh, there's Farm. Okay. Coming up through Abbey now, and then here's Farm, like I just asked myself. Both drivers keeping it nice and clean, using all the road they can get. Trying to clip that apex on the inside. Taking it wide here, getting the power down early to get a good run through Anitri and onto the Wellington straight here. Mike Burkhoff using a more curbing than Josh Willis. Let's see if we can see a move down into Brooklands. Josh Willis doing sliding it through gets Mike Burkhoff a chance to look. Mike Burkhoff running it a little wide through Luffield, but that'll help him get the power down earlier, which gives him a better down run through Woodcott and looks to make a move around the outside of Copps. Both drivers getting really, really close through Copps, with Mike Burkhoff backing off a little bit to give Josh Willis the space and the position. But both drivers keeping it really nice and clean here so far. So let's hop on board trackside cam here, watching this battle occur. So they're now drafting down each other on Luffield's Hangar Straight. Josh Willis taking the inside line, defending from Mike Burkhoff as they run down into Stowe. Drivers are still going side by side, entering Vale. Josh Willis makes contact with Mike Burkhoff and sends him around. Oh, that's unfortunate. Josh Willis going to be overtaken by Jose Bravo. It also is a battle for 5th place is starting to emerge between Matt Morrison and Richie Girolamo. Neither driver being super close to make any kind of moves, but let's hop on a hood cam of Richie Girolamo. It might not be the most realistic view here on a hood cam, but it is a nice little view for camera to see the car positioning and also to see the differing lines the cars take. Keeping it pinned down the Wellington straight. Neither driver being close enough to defend or attack. But it looks like so far this is still the closest battle. And so far you're... Wait, did the races go to 25 minutes? I guess the races are not 25 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, they were 15 minutes before. Oh, okay. Well, that works. Jeremy Engelman possibly close enough to start looking on... Actually, not close enough to start looking. It looks like Mike Burkhoff sliding, but so is Jeremy Engelman there through Stowe. Both drivers keeping it clean here, neither wanting to make a mistake to take the lead away from a driver. As actually you can see in the background, there's a battle for 5th place occurring between Richie Girolamo and Matt Morrison. Looks like it's actually Richie Girolamo defending from Matt Morrison here. Actually, no. Matt Morrison was defending 5th and now has been overtaken by Richie Girolamo. I had the order there wrong. Well, that would have been a nice overtake out of Stowe then. Puts Richie Girolamo up into 5th place, but now he sends it deep through Village. But not... And then hitting the curb through the loop, that might give Morrison a run into Wellington Straight. Nothing close to make a move. Girolamo sending it a little deeper than he'd probably like into Brooklands. Both drivers keeping a nice exit. Yeah, this is being the closest battle on track, actually. Battle between Chan and... Oh, as we see Matt Morrison go off. Battle between Chan and... Vassal might be close. Let's see where that one is. Oh, yes, that is close. Yeah, it's close because Chan's got ahead. Oh! Nope. Nope, Chan was not ahead. Chan's actually very much now off. And actually resets back to pitch. Must have had too much damage after a collision with Vassal. Been fortunate to see, which gives Jacob Otto 10th place. So we work our way back up through the field to see kind of your space. Everyone's spaced out quite a good bit, but the closest battle I think is Matt Morrison on Richie Girolamo. But with the pace Richie Girolamo has, it might become Richie Girolamo on Bravo here. Let's see as timing boards start to update, which means Mike Burkhoff's coming across the line now to start the 5th lap. Yeah, Richie Girolamo's 4/10. wrong direction. Richie Drallman's through Bravo down the front stretch. Man, I am just getting these timings just impeccable here. It's unfortunate. Jose Bravo down into 5th place as Richie Drallman goes through. Looks like Jason Provolone may be close enough to attack. But so might be Matt Morrison. Let's hop on board Matt as he's looking to do it around the outside of Cops, but not able to do it. But that sends it down the inside of Maggot as that would be Bravo backing out of the corner as there's Jeremy Engelman off rejoining the track. Jeremy Engelman still struggling to rejoin the track there. But in the process, Jason Provolone goes up into 5th place. There's some really good battles coming up here. Let's hop on board Jeremy Engelman. Let's hop on board Jeremy Engelman's hood cam as we get to see a better design of this front, or better look at his design on the front. As Bravo's struggling out of corners, it looks like a little bit more than his competitors around him. I'm still looking forward to see this battle unfold here as Jeremy Engelman slides it through Abby, but keeps it nice and clean. As a Mike Burke, as we see Jeremy Engelman send it out of Village. That's unfortunate, him losing a lot of places here quickly. Is there any battles kind of happening? Not really. Actually, this is the closest one here. Jason Provolone on Matt Morrison. Provolone using a interesting color combo. I quite like it as a earthy dark green and a pale orange. It's an interesting color combo. I think it works really well. Maybe just because I don't have his livery installed, because I did install him a couple of days ago. Have some really good livery designers here over at Trackalicious. If you're looking for some liveries to be made, we can hook you up. But there are also more options. Oh, as we see, that's gonna be Matt Morrison off through Chapel Curve on the gravel. That's gonna be an unfortunate place for him to beach it in the gravel. Matt Morrison's now in the pits. But yeah, over here at Tracklist, we've got a lot of things happening. Pretty much always there are people in the voice chat playing some video games together, designing liveries, or making designs for other things. Or we're doing some fun racing, whether it be a league night or not. And we also obviously have some league races coming up here, as these are the preseason races. Tomorrow night will be the preseason race for GT3s. So if you're interested in joining us, links are in the bio of our Twitch. And it looks like Mo has actually entered the pits also. It's unfortunate to see. Richie Rallman starting to close the gap to Josh Willis. We'll hop on in-car cam to see if he's able to catch Josh Willis in the last 15 minutes of this race. Both drivers keeping it nice and clean through Maggots and Beckett's. Eric Miller starting to close on Wassam. Richie Geralman closed about and then Richie Geralman starting to close. It looks like that was about a 6-second gap he closed. There's yellow flags off track for someone. Looks like that might be Otto. Kind of hard to tell, unfortunately. Let's see the gap between Willis and Geralman. Willis starting to slide out, and Willis loses it out of that would be the loop, and gives Richie Geralman second place. It's a nice little overtake there made. Let's get this. Ooh. As now Jason Provolone takes third place. Gaps are starting to open up here, but we here see number 188 and 42. Not for position, but it is a nice battle between Cody Wassam and Carnatus. Carnatus is the ahead, defending as a lapped car. This would be an interesting little run down the Wellington Straight. Looks like Cody Wassam's taking the inside line into Brooklands. Carnatus giving plenty of the space. Or Carnotus giving plenty of the space. And then but Wassam having a slight sideways moment, which gives Carnotus a chance to tap Wassam's bumper and send both of them into a semi-spin. Carnotus waiting to give the position back, I believe. Because that is not how fast that car should be going down the front stretch. As we'll cycle through the field to see here. As you can see, Richard Geralman's nowhere near Mike Burkhoff, of your race leader here so far. Yeah, with about a 15-second gap to Richie Geralman in second place. Richie will be wanting to close that, see if he can challenge Mike for the race lead here. I mean, Mike slides it out of the corner a little bit, but Richie's definitely on the pace here, and I'm looking. Josh Willis is in the pits. It looks like Eric Miller may or may not be close on someone. Oh, as we see Carnotus recover from a spin. Looks like he might have collected a wall because that nose is heavily damaged. We'll hop on Eric Miller's hood cam. Eric Miller must have some front end damage if that hood is slightly flapping. I believe that should be Cody Wassam ahead. Yes, that is. I think. It's yet to update. But Richie Geralman closed that gap to Mike Burkhoff about 2 seconds in one lap, which is quite substantial time to be closed. Miller's second and a half out of, actually looks like Bravo's starting to get going down the wrong way. Bravo's starting to close on Jason Provolone. As Provolone goes off here now within a second. Bravo possibly looking to make a move. Ooh, Jason Provolone has a slight sideways moment, which gives Bravo a chance to attack out of club. Both drivers send it a little deep into club, but now out of club. Not really sure which corner club is, but it is one of those. Onto the hangar straight now. Second being extended to 1.5 actually. Richie Geralman 12 seconds off of the lead. He's got some work to do to catch Mike, but it might be doable. Bravo, not really close enough to take advantage of the draft down into the Wellington Straight. Both drivers taking actually slightly different lines as Jason Provolone sends it around. That's unfortunate to see, but that gives Bravo third place, and actually Mike Burkoff is... Mike Burkoff's in the pits. And has a stop go 30-second for speeding in the pit lane. Which gives Richie Geralman the lead, Jason Provolone second. Not Jason Provolone, excuse me. Jose Bravo, second. That is major upset for this race. Fortunate to see, as if both drivers having a really good race here so far. But Bravo is 12 seconds behind Geralman. Geralman now has a quite comfortable lead over Bravo. Burkoff still has his stop-go penalty to serve, as he just actually got it. Looks like the field's starting to spread out here a little bit. So we'll follow Jose Bravo and Mike Burkoff here. Both drivers keeping it nice and clean. Ooh, as we see Jose Bravo make a mistake and give... that would be Mike Burkoff second place, except Mike Burkoff still has to take his penalty. It's unfortunate. Will Mike Burkoff choose to take it this lap? Pop on the hood cam of Jose Bravo. Mike Burkoff takes his drive through. Or stop go 30 here. As we're not gonna watch him take a long time penalty, just wanted to show that he is very much in the pits taking that penalty. It's fortunate to see. As again, the field's still quite spread out here. It looks like Jason Provolone's not near Mike Burkoff, but Cody Wassom's 21 seconds clear. Oh, that's Eric Miller, who's recovering from a spin in... It's really hard to see. That would have been a spin in Lovefield. There's Cody Wassom. Jason Provolone in second place, which means Jason Provolone's in third place and not in second place. It looks like I said, of course, timing boards know what to do. That's okay, we can work around all that stuff. We'll hop on inside Jason Provolone's cockpit to see his lines, see how much steering input he has to throw into this car. We can see his revs on the dash there, barely, behind the little safety net. Provolone's nearly 2 seconds off of Bravo with 5 minutes left of the race. He might be able to close. But it looks like it looks like this is Geralman's race to lose at this moment. With about, I don't know, what would that be? 15 seconds once the timing sheets updates. About a 15-second gap? 16-second gap off of Geralman. Proflone being a second and a half or so off of Bravo. Let's see if he can close this gap at all through Maggots and Beckett's. It's an easy place to close it if one driver takes the racing line incorrectly. I think both drivers are keeping it nice and clean. But it looks like Provolone closed that gap to 1 second, less than a second. Bravo maybe starting to struggle with tires a little bit. Ooh, as Provolone slightly spins it, but closes the gap to, I'm going to head over to a higher up PV cam so we can see Jose pull off to the inside line to give Jason Provolone the race, the second place. Provolone's car decides to try to become a submarine, and then the Earth becomes Earth and denies him. Not really sure what's up with that. But so far, your race leader for a majority of this race has been Richie Geralman with a nearly 19-second gap to second place of Jason Provolone. Everyone becoming quite spaced out. This is still the closest battle on track. Oh yeah. Very much awake right now. Both drivers still keeping it nice and clean. Yeah, Richard Geralman keeping the lead of the race. I believe he was a driver for Adidas Parlay in the GT3 season last season. Now split off to, I believe, go to a Porsche, if I remember correctly. And then he's also been brought on, not sure what team he raced on in the GT4 season, but he's been also brought on to my team of TWP Alpha. So looking forward to having both the top two drivers in this race currently on TWP Alpha for the GT4 series. Also looking forward to racing everyone here on the GT4 series. And watching the GT3 series. Unfortunately, I will not be commentating again next season. Scheduling just doesn't work out for that. But I can watch it, so that's awesome. Your amazing commentator for the GT4 and GT3 races will be Alvarez. Alvarez has been doing most of these mid-season break streams so far, and also been helped pilot us getting our replays over onto YouTube, and you will see this there, and I'm guessing day or two after the race, after it's finished. Depends on how nice, upload speeds are and all this good internet network stuff. But as we're following Richie Geralman here, coming across, starting the final lap of the race, he looks like he's about 20 seconds clear, just Jason Provolone. I'd like to see where that timing sheet updates to, because it will be a big gap. It is 20 seconds. Except I'm going the wrong way. No, I'm not. Down the right way. Let's see if we can find Mike Burkhoff. Nope, now again. Mike Burkhoff is in 6th place, looking to attack Eric Miller here in that Shell V-Power Porsche. Let's actually hop on board, as Mike Burkhoff has a slight sideways moment out of the loop, but yet still catches Miller out of Tree down the Wellington straight into Brooklyn, as they're side by side. So we head on board to Helicam. Looks like Mike Burkhoff has the position through Luffield. Has successfully pulled off the overtake. That's Mike Burkhoff up into 6th place here. And that is Mike Burkhoff's position. Actually, correction, Mike Burkhoff's up into 5th place. I'm not sure why I said it was 6th place. As we just kind of run through the field, you can start to see how spaced out some of these drivers are for a half-hour race. Cody Wassam in 4th place with a 41-second gap to Bravo. Bravo has a 4-second gap to Provolone. You can't even really see. You can hear him off in the distance, but you can't really see him that much. Provolone is 22 seconds behind Geralman. As Richie Geralman comes across the line to take the race win. If we follow Santiago Orozco, coming across the final line now to get his 8th place secured. Jason Provolone coming around. Woodcott now. No, actually. That's Woodcott now to get his 2nd place. Jose Bravo for Team Parker comes across 3rd. And now we follow Cody Wassam in 4th place. Just driving out there alone through Tree right now. Now down the Wellington Straight, braking hard for Brooklands. And then Luffield here. And we're going to come across the line now here. Cody Wassam secures his 4th place. Mike Burkhoff slides it around Luffield to get some style points coming across the start-finish line. Or approaching the start-finish line through Woodcott. And then crosses the line for his 5th place. Eric Miller in 6th place, coming down through Woodcott now to get his 6th place. With the Jacob Otto coming through Luffield. No, through Brooklands, excuse me. Now through Luffield. To secure the final position on track of 7th place. He's the only person yet to come across the line. That is an 8th place for Jacob Otto. And then your non-finishers that race were Mo Vassell, Mike Morrison, Jeremy Engelman, Pickerel in 14th, Eddie Chan, M. Chan. Sorry, I keep forgetting your name. I really need to write it down. And Dave Ward, 7th. Let's get your race winner. Top 2. Yeah, actually, do we have time for top 2? Maybe.
Green light. Give it all you got.
Let's try and get your top 2 finishers in here of, not Josh Willis, of Richie Geralman and Provolone. No driver has opted to come out yet for free practice. Probably adjusting some tires. Or adjusting tire temperature, maybe adjusting some wing. anti-roll bar, preload differentials, all the good kind of setup-y things you have. Ride front and rear ride height. You've gone into the wrong room, guys. Guess I'll go down. I see you're forcing me to move rooms, huh? I
Well,
guess
we
you
can't
guys.
join that one.
Oh, that's right. You guys can't. I'm sorry.
No,
I
we
keep
got us
forgetting
locked out.
I forget every single time I have to. Okay, thank you guys. I need to really fix that. Anyway, so Richard Drallman, nice little race win there over Provolone.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
it was a little bit of a rough start when we went 3 wide into that one corner, but we got back on track in 6th place, and then just hunted them down after that. And then unfortunately, it looked like Burkhoff was gonna run out of fuel and had to pit.
That what
But then
happened.
yeah, we believe that's what happened, and then he got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
That was
Also,
unfortunate.
so
But yes, that
yep.
secured your race win there. All you had to do is keep it out of a wall and come home across the line.
Yeah, and I was still going for fastest lap.
Oh my gosh. And okay then. And Jason Provolone. Yeah, Jason. Coming in second place. You had to fight for that one though, but it was a good race from you.
Yeah, I could have sworn I was sitting in the car after hitting drive and starting the engine, and the next thing I knew, pit lane start. But it worked out with all the carnage on lap 1, and then I was just trying to maintain pace and not being too confident in the cup car. But then once I saw that Burkhoff got the stop and go, and I was going faster than Bravo, I started pushing because I knew I could get the podium. And so second place, I wasn't really expecting that to start though. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
fun race.
that was a fun race there. Came up from the field from like what, about fifth from when I start watching.
Yeah. I mean, I had the stream on low volume, but I think I heard you on lap 1 mention that there was a car like straggling in the back, and that was me.
Oh,
So
really?
then I
You
was
were
just pushing from there.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember seeing. I was on a helicam and I just saw you in the background.
No, yeah, that was fun. Had a good time.
Yeah.
Looking forward to racing this season.
Is there going to be another race? Have I missed something?
I think we're just gonna do open lobby degrees after this.
Okay.
But
So I think that's the stream then.
yeah,
Anyways, let's try and pull an Eric afterwards. Should be good to call now.
Yeah, the season should be good though. It's a lot of the top guys are really close in lap times, so it should be interesting.
Yes, and now I don't know everyone's name here, but was there any open lobby drivers here?
I believe there was a few new joiners from yesterday that we had gathered.
And would that be Eddie and Norman? Norman. Oh, I can't remember his last name right now, and I feel really bad.
With a C or something.
Is it?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't see people's names because of VR, but
Ooh, yes. So yeah, looking forward to the GT3 Cup Series starting here soon. And nothing else that you guys can think of. You're free to go.
yeah, I just want to say to Provolone here, great race.
Yeah, dude, you too.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Also, great opportunity to pull in the TWP Alpha drivers since we're all here. As we're all your TWP Alpha drivers. We also have a couple other one other team full.
It's
yes,
gonna be a fun GT4 season.
And that it will be. So obviously, we're all looking forward to all of the GT3, GT4 series upcoming here. If you're interested in joining us here, if you're following us, if you find us on YouTube, There should be links to the Twitch and maybe even the Discord in there. You can use either. Obviously, in the end, you want to join our Discord. But if the Discord's not linked down there, go to the Twitch channel, which hopefully you're watching on right now. And in the link in our Twitch channel, we should have a link for our Discord there. Go join there. We're welcoming anyone of any pace and skill level. And also we do have some track day events, which I'm trying to pull in Trackalicious Eric for, because he knows all about that stuff. But it looks like he might be unavailable. Yeah, so if there's nothing else for you guys to add, you are free to go.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Trev.
See you guys next week for Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
And with that being over, unfortunately we cannot pull Eric in. It looks like he might be off. Or is he off? I'm not sure if he's off. Is he off? I don't want to kill the stream before he's ready. But yeah, with that being said, that was a really good race. Your upcoming stream schedule here is tomorrow at the same time. We will have GT3s, the preseason test for GT3s here. And then Thursday night we will have get the season rolling for GT4s at Solder. And then after that it'll be your Porsche Cup and GT3 Cup on Saturday and Sunday respectively. Well, looks like Eric might not be available, so with that being said, I'm going to sign you guys off here. This is Trev Hummer commentating for Trackalicious Sim Racing. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.